gonna actually lay down. So pull this out a little bit. All right, so I'm going to first inspect the abdomen, and what I'm seeing is it is flat. There's no bruises, there's no sores, no masses. You have an inverted navel, and I'm not seeing any peristalsis. So what I'm gonna do is listen to your 4 quadrants for your bowel sounds. All right, so now I'm going to auscultate for bruits. Listen to your aortic abdomen with the bell. I'm going to listen to your renal arteries. Then we're going to go to the iliac. And we're going to go down to the femoral. So I'm going to flip the diaphragm. Listen again. Same sites. No bruits noted on all quadrants. So what I'm going to do is percuss the quadrants. Let me know if you feel any tenderness or any pain, okay? Any pain?
No.
Very good. Okay, no pain or no tenderness noted in the 4 quadrants. So what we're going to do also now, I'm going to palpate lightly over the quadrants, okay? Any pain?
No.
Okay, no pain noted?
No.
All right, so I am going to percuss, the spleen. I'm going to percuss the liver. I'm going to also measure. You can hear the change from tympani to bell. The liver borders. It measures at about 6 centimeters. Okay. So I'm going to palpate A little bit deeper. Let me know if you feel any pain. Any pain?
No.
Okay. So the kidneys. Any pain?
No.
Okay. I'm just also going to check the liver as well. So I'm going to ask you to inhale, take a deep breath, and exhale. Inhale, exhale. No pain?
No.
Okay. I'm going to press down into the abdomen slowly and deeply, and I'm going to release. Tell me if you feel any pain, okay?
No. No.
Okay, so no inflammation. Noted. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you, you're going to sit up and turn to the back. I'm going to do the CVAT test. Let me know if you feel any pain. Okay. Okay. And that concludes the test.
And I'm going to palpate here. Any tenderness when I palpate?
Nope.
No. On the sides here? No? Okay. Come over to the back here. Once again, I'm going to lift up your shirt just so I can look at your skin while I'm back here. Okay. I'm going to palpate. Any tenderness? Nope. Okay. Any tenderness when I do this? Nope. Tenderness when I do this? Nope. No. Good. Okay, take a deep breath for me. Okay, as I move my hands up, just say 99. Okay. 99. 99. 99. 99. Okay, good. Stop percussing. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and listen. Every time I move my stethoscope, just go ahead and take a deep breath for me, okay? Okay. So with the diaphragm, I'm going to go ahead and listen. Deep breath. Good. Okay, good. Now every time I move my stethoscope, just go ahead and say 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. Okay, good. Now every time I move my stethoscope, just go ahead and say EE. Okay. Okay. EE. 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 EE, 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 EE. Okay. Now every time I move my stethoscope, whisper 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to come around and just going to listen to the front. So take a deep breath for me. Good. Another deep breath. Okay, good. Now I'm going to listen to your carotids with the bell. Okay. And with the diaphragm, I'm going to go ahead and listen to your heart in 5 places, and then with the bell. Okay. now I'm going to listen with the bell. Okay, good. I'm going to have you lay flat for me. And back with my diaphragm, I'm going to listen in all 5 spots again. Okay, now with the bell, I'm going to go ahead and listen. I'm going to have you turn on your left side. And with the bell, I'm just going to listen to your mitral valve. Alright, good. And while I'm here, I'm going to feel for any heaves, lifts, or thrills. Okay, and I'm going to palpate your PMI. Good. I'm going to have you lay flat on your back again. I'm going to check your pulses, starting with your brachial. I'm just going to verbalize feeling her femoral pulses here. And dorsalis pubis here. And while I'm down here, I'm just looking for any edema. So now we're going to start the abdomen exam. First, I'm just going to look at your skin. I'm also going to just look at your abdomen overall. And then I'm going to start by listening. Okay, and with the bell, I'm going to listen to her arteries, starting with the aorta, renal, iliac, and I'm just going to verbalize over the pains that I'm listening to from oral. Good. Now I'm going to percuss each quadrant. And starting midclavicular with the umbilicus, I'm going to palpate or percuss for the liver. And I'm going to measure where I started hearing it, so it's about between 4 to 6 centimeters. Okay. So now I'm going to palpate your liver. Take a deep breath in for me. While I'm here, I'm also going to palpate for your kidney. Come on the other side. I'm going to palpate for your spleen. Take a deep breath in for me. I'm going to palpate for your other kidney. Again, I'm going to palpate your aorta and measure it. I'm going to light palpate each quadrant. Any tenderness here? No. Any tenderness here? No. Here? No. And here? No. Alright, now I'm going to do some deep palpation, okay? Let me know if you have any tenderness or pain. No. 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 No.
Anterior posterior to the transverse column to see if it's in a 1:2 ratio. Gonna have you turn around for me. I'm going to palpate the posterior and lateral chest wall, checking for any tenderness or deformities. I'm going to palpate the thoracic expansion. Take a deep breath. Seeing if the respiration was symmetrical. Going to palpate the tactile fremitus, say 99.
99, 99, 99, 99.
Seeing if the vibrations were symmetrical. Can you cross your arms for me? I'm going to percuss now. Checking for any resonance or dullness. Going to auscultate now. And I'm gonna have you take deep breaths with your mouth open. I'm going to listen for one full cycle of inhalation and expiration. All right, deep breaths. Listening to the vesicular sounds. Listening for any rales, rhonchi, or wheezing. Okay, I'm gonna have you lay on your back for me. Okay, I'm going to palpate the anterior chest wall for any tenderness or deformities. Going to palpate the thoracic expansion. Take a deep breath. Okay, I'm going to palpate and I was doing that to see if the respiration was symmetrical. Going to palpate the tactile fremitus, say 99.
99, 99, 99.
And I was checking to see if the vibrations were symmetrical. I'm going to percuss now. Checking for any resonance or dullness. Okay, I'm going to auscultate now. Turn your head this way. I'm gonna have you take deep breaths with your mouth open. I'm gonna be listening to one full cycle of inspiration and expiration. Listening to the bronchofascicular sounds. The vesicular sounds. Noting if there's any rales, rhonchi, or wheezing. Okay, I'm going to lift your head 30 degrees. I'm going to inspect the jugular veins for distension or palpation. I'm going to Auscultate the carotid arteries to check for any bruits, to listen for any bruits. Gonna have you hold your breath for me. Other side. Okay. Now I'm going to palpate the carotid arteries for rate, rhythm, amplitude, symmetry. I'm going to inspect the precordium to see if there's any abnormal motion or an apical impulse. All right. I'm going to palpate the anterior here with the ball of my hand. And I will be checking for any lifts, heaves, or thrills. So I'll start off on the aortic area, which is the second intercostal space on the right. The pulmonic area, second intercostal space on the left. Herbs area, third intercostal. Tricuspid area, fourth intercostal. Mitral area, fifth intercostal. Gonna locate the maximal apical impulse. Narrow it down to 4 fingers to 2. I'm going to note the location, size, intensity. Gonna go back over those areas and auscultate now. And I'm going to turn your head a little bit. I'm going to palpate the carotid arteries as well at the same time. So the aortic area, pulmonic area, herbs, tricuspid, mitral. I'm listening for the S1, S2 sounds, also seeing if there's any S3, S4, murmurs, rubs, or gallops. Mitral, tricuspid, herbs, pulmonic, aortic. Okay. Now I'm going to inspect the upper extremities. I'm gonna look for any edema, symmetry, pallor, cyanosis. I'm going to check capillary refill, which should be less than 2 seconds. Okay, I'm going to get the epitrochlear node here, palpate for any tenderness or enlargements. Same thing with this side. Okay, capillary refill. Now I'm going to look to make sure it's less than 2 seconds. I'm going to check the inguinal lymph nodes horizontally and vertically for any tenderness or enlargement. I'm also going to palpate the femoral artery for rate, rhythm, and amplitude, and I would do this under close. And also symmetry. And then I'm also gonna be palpating the brachial artery, other side, the renal arteries, the radial arteries, the popliteal arteries, the posterior tibial artery, the dorsalis pedis artery, and I was checking for rate, rhythm, amplitude, symmetry. Now I am going to auscultate the abdominal aorta, and I'll be listening for bruits. So the abdominal aorta, the renal arteries, the iliac arteries, and the femoral arteries. Okay, going to locate the abdominal aorta. Okay, narrow it down. And then I will note the location, size, diameter. It should be about 2 to 3 centimeters.
And I'm going to start at the aortic artery. Then I'm going to move to the renal. Then I'm going to do the same on both sides. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the iliac. Okay, and finally to the femoral. Okay, and I did not hear any bruits, so that is good. Okay, and then I'm going to move on to my percussion. So before I start the percussion, I do have to ask, do you have any urinary complications, frequency of UTIs? Okay, do you have any kidney issues?
No.
Okay, I do have to ask because if you did, I would need to use blunt percussion with my fist over the costovertebral angle. Okay, so since you don't, I'm just going to use normal percussion over the quadrants. Okay, so I'm going to begin here at the right upper. I'm going to again move in a clockwise rotation. Then over to the left lower. And then to the right lower. Okay, and you do hear the dull sound that we want to hear, so that is good. Okay, and so then I'm going to move on to my palpation. So we do have to ask if you have any pain. Okay, if you did have any pain, we would want to palpate those areas last to avoid disturbing anything. Okay, so again, I'm going to start at my my right upper quadrant, and I'm going to do in a rotating circle. Okay, at any time you feel pain, just let me know, okay? All did feel normal, okay? And I'm also looking for tenderness, muscular resistance, and looking for turgor. So I'm going to look at your turgor. Okay, all seem normal. And I did not feel any muscular resistance, and you didn't feel any tenderness, correct? Okay. I'm also going to look at rebound tenderness. So at any point, again, just let me know if you do feel pain, okay? I'm going to start in the right upper quadrant again. Okay, and no tenderness?
No.
Okay, so that is good. Normally an advanced practitioner would be doing deeper palpations to feel any masses or other organs, okay? Alright, so next I'm going to palpate the spleen and the liver. So I'm going to start by doing the liver. Okay, so I'm going to do this side, use my right hand. Put the left one under your side. And can you do an inhalation, an exhale,
Okay, and I don't want to feel the liver, which I didn't. Sometimes, depending on body shape, you can feel the tip of the liver, but I did not in this case. It's just good. Next, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side for the spleen. So I'm going to use my right hand, reach on the back with my left, and inhale. Go ahead and exhale. Okay, I did not feel the spleen, which is also a good sign. Okay, and that includes my assessment, so I'm going to leave you with your call light, make sure it's in distance. And do you have any questions for me? Is there anything I can do for you right now? All right, well, thank you, Miss Zayna.
Thank you.